On Global TV News Prime, federal government pledges to strengthen security in Zamfara. In business, federal government reaffirms commitment to trade relations, economic growth. And on the foreign scene, President Zelensky says Ukrainian ready for truce with Russia. And in sports, Eric Chelle to unveil his list of Super Eagles World Cup qualifiers. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Jumai Manson. Now, a quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nicomsat. You can download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. Now, the news in full. The Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has charged member states of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, to recommit themselves to the ideals of regional integration and the vision of prosperous, peaceful, and united West Africa. He also urged countries in the sub-region to remove trade barriers by ensuring free movement in the World African Corridor and build a region that is not only prosperous and peaceful, but also inclusive and equitable, as well as a region where every citizen has the opportunity to thrive. Party supporters of the All Progressive Congress APC in Benue State have been encouraged to remain steadfast and to resolve stand by the present administration in the state and Nigeria at large. State Governor Hyacinth Alia made the call while inaugurating the office of the political support group La Vista Support Initiative for Tinubu and Alia for 2027. Uyi Agbomofuegbe completes the story.
As the 2027 general election inches closer, political support groups are pitching tents ahead of the exercise. The inauguration of the Living Star Support Group for Tinubu and Alia 2027, according to Benue State Governor Hyacinth Alia, is an opportunity for them to showcase solidarity and capacity in ensuring the success of the APC ahead of the election. Represented by the Deputy Governor, Sam Ode, Alia said he is overwhelmed with the show of acceptance by the people for him to consolidate on his mandate of delivering quality leadership, calling on the group not to relent in building their membership and database.
If you are a coordinator for presidential election or governorship election at this level, you are already a raw material that can be tapped. So your performance in your respective local governments will determine what will happen to you in 2027.
Convener of the group, Livinus Tar, explained that the agenda is to garner support for President Bola Tinubu and Governor Hyacinth Alia across all the 23 local government areas of the state. The event also featured the inauguration of coordinators for the 23 local government areas of the state and launch of a magazine to showcase achievements. Uyi Agbomofuegbe, reporting for Global Television News.
Thank you, Uyi, for that report. Over now to the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu has thrown her weight behind the seat reservation bill for women in the parliament, urging the National Assembly to expeditiously pass the bill into law. The bill, sponsored by the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Okazi-Kalu, is currently before the House of Representatives for consideration and passage. Senator Tinubu, represented by Hajia Fatima Tajuddin Abbas, wife of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, emphasized the importance of women's leadership in shaping the country's future. The House of Representatives has called on the federal government to urgently strengthen security in Zamfara State, particularly in communities grappling with persistent attack by armed bandits. This resolution followed a motion sponsored by Hassan Shinkafi, the lawmaker representing Shinkafi Zurmi Federal Constituency, during plenary. Shinkafi says the deteriorating security situation in Shinkafi and Zurmi local government areas where escalating attacks have led to widespread killings, maiming and kidnappings. The Federal Executive Council has approved provisional licenses for 11 new private universities. This was disclosed by the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, after the Federal Cabinet meeting at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. The minister said the universities had passed through processes set out by the National Universities Commission, NUC, explaining that even though the Federal Executive Council had placed a moratorium on new private universities, the ones being approved had gone far in their registration process. Bayelsa State Government has lifted the ban on employment in the state civil service. The state government made this known in a special announcement signed by the Permanent Secretary, Civil Service Commission, Dr. Stanley Okarion. According to the announcement, the letters should be addressed to the chairman of the Bayelsa State Civil Service Commission. Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo has highlighted the growing importance of civil defense in safeguarding human lives, supporting sustainable development and protecting critical national assets and infrastructure. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps commemorated in 2025 International Civil Defense Day organization with a call for collective action, international cooperation and community engagement in strengthening civil defense and disaster risk reduction efforts. Godwin Sunday was there for Global TV.
The International Civil Defense Day is observed globally on March the 1st. With this year's theme, a civil defense guarantee of security for population. The highlight of the day saw civil defense teams conducted large-scale emergency drills, showcasing their ability to respond to natural disasters, fires, and other crises. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, who was represented by Secretary of the Civil Defense, Correctional, Fire, and Immigration Board, Abdulmalik Jubri, emphasized the increasing frequency and severity of security threats worldwide and the need for collective action, international collaboration, cooperation, and community engagement in promoting civil defense and disaster risk management and reduction.
In the recent years, the world has witnessed an increase in the frequency and severity of security threats. These trends have highlighted the importance of civil defense in protecting human lives, promoting sustainable development, and promotion of protection of critical national assets.
The Commandant General of Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Ahmed Audi, highlighted the importance of collaboration among security agencies and stakeholders to create a safe world, while reiterating the commitment of the Corps in protecting critical national infrastructure and strengthening physical security measures.
As civil defenders, we should be seen to be proactive rather than reactive. Hence, the need to work out modalities and develop strategies towards preventing threats and enhancing safety and security. This could be achieved by strengthening the existing security measures and engaging in risk awareness campaigns to educate the general public on measures and steps to adopt when faced or confronted by potential threats. In all this, the need for collaboration and synergy among security agencies and other critical stakeholders, including local and international bodies, becomes very, very imperative, especially by engaging in sharing of ideas, knowledge, expertise to make the world safer and more secured.
The high point of the event was the presentation of checks worth over 188 million to the families of more than 20 deceased officers as part of their insurance benefit. Godwin Sunday, reporting for Global Television News.
Thank you, Godwin, for that report. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has announced the country's power generation reached 5,713.60 megawatts on Tuesday, marking the highest level in 4 years. TCN says the largest figure represents the highest peak generation for 2025 and was successfully transmitted across the grid. However, the company noted that while the latest peak is 88 megawatts lower than the all-time record of 5,801.60 megawatts set on March 1, 2021, it remains a significant achievement. The All Progressive Congress APC in Benue State has promised new and old members of the party of equal opportunities in building a stronger house. The state governor, Hyacinth Alia, made the emphasis at the ceremony to mark the defection where thousands of defectors from different political parties joined the ruling APC in Lashiel, Oshogo local government area of the state. Ogochukwu Mobno has more.
The All Progressive Congress hierarchy under the leadership of the governor Hyacinth Alia arrived Leso, headquarters of the Oshogo local government area, where supporters gathered in demonstration of their support for the party. Deputy Governor Sam Ode, who represented the governor, while addressing the crowd of supporters, reaffirmed the commitment of the present administration to continue to align with policies and programs targeted at improving the well-being of the masses. He assured both old and new members of the party of equal opportunities for the overall development and good of the state.
That your own son is today a professor and is also on his way joining us in this game of politics to continue from where you stopped. We appreciate you. We are not unmindful of your contributions to the growth of democracy in this country.
Majority Leader of the Benue State House of Assembly, Sata Tisa, insisted that the Oshogo people have every cause to support the governor due to his love, as demonstrated by key appointments of their sons and daughters in the present administration, as well as numerous projects being witnessed in the area.
The coming of the governor here is a blessing. Permit me to invite a testimony that we are working and representing our leader very well. And because the governor has come here, it's assurance to them that is in their interest. Of this occasion.
Leader of the Dicamsis, Professor Kohol Lorem and others maintained that their decision to join the APC is due to the governor's style of leadership and promised to give their best to the party. APC Acting Chairman Dr. Benjamin Omale and the Chairman of the APC Elder Forum, Senator Barnabas Gemade, and other party stalwarts thanked the Dikampis for the bold step in joining the ruling party, urging them to team up with the governor to accelerate development in the state.
Today is not just an original gathering, is a strong and resounding statement of confidence in our great party. It is clear sign that the good people of Oshogo local government area and Benue State at large are choosing progress, development, prosperity aligned with our APC party. While we pay tribute to Governor Apereku and Reverend Father Moses Adazu, we miss no words whatsoever in stating very clearly that if we did not see Reverend Father Dr. Hyacinth Alia as governor of Benue State, we would never have known that governors can make progress for their people.
Supporters carried placards with various inscriptions demonstrating their support and solidarity for the governor and the APC. Ogochukwu Mobno reporting for Global Television News.
Thank you, Ogochukwu, for that report. In the meantime, Benue State Governor Hyacinth Alia says vulnerable groups and communities are to receive more support from the state government in areas of capacity building and provision of incentives to boost economic activities and drive empowerment. The governor disclosed this at the Thanksgiving service in honor of the Executive Secretary of the State Emergency Management Agency, Dr. James Urkpoe, in the Sembe Vedekian local government. Felicity Inderi reports.
The Thanksgiving service was in honor of the Executive Secretary of the State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, Dr. James Urkpoe, and their son, the Executive Governor of Benue State, Hyacinth Alia, for the uncommon service being rendered to the state. Governor Hyacinth Alia, who acknowledged infrastructure and social support deficiency in the area, announced that the state government will install 2 500 kVA transformers in Tambi and 6 motorized boreholes in each of the 5 kindreds to solve the challenges of electricity and water. In order to provide a better future for vulnerable people, the governor donated 10 million naira to support 30 people with special needs in the area, in addition to providing them with 2 months intensive training. Paramount ruler of the Tiv Nation, His Royal Majesty Professor James Ayate and Most Reverend Isaac Dugu, encouraged the governor to ensure the implementation of the open grazing prohibition and ranches establishment law to check the influx of herders in Sankara, Kwandi and other parts of the state. The celebrant was filled with immense gratitude to God for his immeasurable blessings and protection.
Through my interaction with UN organizations, to have UN present in Benue State today. And so we are happy that. And then, Federal has launched Tribute Solution Action Plan, which will now direct us how to move this IDP to ancestral home. So these are the joy I am sharing today as well, that the IDP are met and no longer IDP. If we meet them today, they will also be thanking God that Fadalia is doing well.
He also announced the adoption of an orphan whose parents were killed in the Kwande attacks as part of his humanitarian service to the society. At St. Margaret Catholic Church, Chichi, Tambi in Vanike local government area of the state. Felicity Ndere, Globe TV News.
Thank you, Felicity, for that report. Now over to Afam Osigwe, president of the Nigerian Bar Association. NBA has called for sweeping judicial reforms to address the growing backlog of cases in Nigerian courts, including a review of the role of the judiciary in pre-election matters and scope of cases that should reach the Supreme Court. In a recent interview with Arise TV, Osigwe criticized the overwhelming number of cases that flood the courts, particularly pre-election disputes, which he believes should be handled internally by political parties rather than being justifiable. Osigwe noted that the judiciary is burdened by election-related cases which disrupt the hearing of other matters, delay justice, and place undue process on judges. You are watching the live broadcast of News Prime. When News Prime returns, federal government reaffirms commitment to trade relations, economic growth. We have those details from the world of foreign as well as more stories from business and sports segments for you right after this break. Please stay with us. Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, it's News Prime on Global Television. Thank you for staying with us. On business stories now, French Ambassador to Nigeria, Mark van Burster, has reaffirmed the country's commitment to remain Nigeria's strategic ally in developing the solid minerals sector. He made this remark during a courtesy call on the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dele Alake, in Abuja. Sharon Dejay has details.
The ambassador noted that France is fully committed to supporting Nigerians' roadmap for mining development, with a very keen interest in investing in the rapidly developing solid minerals sector. He said France has shown enthusiasm, commitment, and readiness to implement tangible projects.
Humbly, but with the trust I have in my country, I come to offer you to, if you accept, debrief a bit about what we can achieve now. What could be the next steps?
In response to the visiting ambassador, the Minister of Solid Mineral, Dr. Dele Alake, acknowledged France's frontline position among prospective stakeholders who have shown interest in the solid mineral sector. The minister shared his optimism that a long-standing and robust bilateral relationship between Nigeria and France will be further enhanced. The minister reiterated that the core agenda of President Tinubu's policy initiative has been the diversification of the economy with emphasis on solid minerals development. He highlighted the imperative of continued engagement with the French team to identify serious French companies interested in the mining sector, whilst also fine-tuning areas of collaboration to concretize partnership based on the earlier signed MOU.
So our own objective is to further enhance this relationship and, like I said, put a lot of things into actionable format and then put a timeline so that we can put ourselves on the edge, so be on our toes and be monitoring whatever that we are achieving as time goes on. Because as I told you, we are very, very much preparing for development of this sector.
Corroborating the ambassador, Deputy Head Regional Economic Department of the French Embassy, Caroline Lebator, expressed France's readiness to fund projects in the mining cooperation and collaboration with the ministry to gravitize French companies for development of the mining value chain. Nigeria and France has signed an MOU late last year on the heels of President Tinubu's state visit to France to develop joint projects for promotion and diversification of the critical mineral value chain with emphasis on technical assistance, capacity building, and remediation of abandoned pits. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
Thank you, Sharon, for that report. The United Kingdom and Nigeria have committed to enhancing trade relations and drive economic growth through the implementation of Nigeria's national equality policy under the Standard Partnership Programme Phase 2. This was issued in a statement from the British Deputy High Commissioner in Lagos on Monday. Launched in June 2024, the SPP Phase 2 aims to eliminate technical trade barriers, improve regulatory compliance, and promote export competitiveness between both nations. On the foreign news now, in his first public comments since Trump halted U.S. military aid to Ukraine overnight, President Vladimir Zelensky called for truce in the sea and sky as a first step to securing an end to the 3-year-long war. Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than Ukrainians. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get peace that lasts. End of his quote. Zelensky said on his post on X, he said Ukraine was ready to agree to a truce in the sky, ban on missiles, long-range drones, bombs on energy and other civilian infrastructure, and truce in the sea immediately if Russia would do the same. Gabon's military leader, General Bruce Oligui Nguema, has announced his intention to run for president in next month's election. Nguema seized power in 2023 in a coup that ended the long-standing rule of the Bongo family. He then pledged to hand over power to civilians. The country has, however, since passed a new constitution and electoral code that critics argue were designed to favor a bid for the presidency by the junta leader. In sports now, coach Eric Chelle would most likely unveil his eagerly awaited list of Super Eagles to prosecute his month's FIFA 2026 World Cup double-header against Rwanda and Zimbabwe today. Nigeria travel away to Rwanda on March 21st before hosting Zimbabwe in Oyo 4 days later. In what we must win encounters about the Super Eagles found themselves in an unfamiliar 5th place in Group C after taking just 3 points from their opening 4 matches in the qualifying tournament. Franco Milan Chelle, who was employed late January with the task of rescuing Nigeria's flagging World Cup campaign, has traveled far and wide locally and Europe to assemble his first set of players, which might unveil today, bearing any last-minute change of mind. Tottenham Hotspur has entered the race to sign Nigerian forward Ademola Lookman from Atalanta, where the summer transfer window opens. The North London club are set to battle Premier League rivals Liverpool and Chelsea for the signature of the 27-year-old CAF Player of the Year. With an offer of around €45 million plus performance-based bonuses expected to be tabled. Spurs, who have scouted the player extensively in recent months, view Lookman as an ideal acquisition to bolster their attacking options following a turbulent session. As Global TV News Prime comes to an end, let's take a quick look at our top stories again. The House of Representatives have called on the federal government to urgently strengthen security in Zamfara State, particularly in communities grappling with persistent attack by armed bandits. In business news now, the United Kingdom and Nigeria have committed to enhancing trade relations and driving economic growth through the implementation of Nigeria's national quality policy under the Standards Partnership Program Phase 2. On the foreign news, in his first public comment since Trump's halted U.S. military aid to Ukraine overnight, President Vladimir Zelensky called for a truce in the sea and sky as a first step to securing an end to the 3-year-long war. And finally, on sports, coach Eric Chelle would most likely unveil his eagerly awaited list of Super Eagles to persecute this month's FIFA's 2026 World Cup doubleheader against Rwanda and Zimbabwe today. And that's it on News Prime. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365, on Star Times channel 276, and free to air on ICOMSAT. And kindly follow us across all social media platforms I'm showing on your screen by using @Global TV NG. You know, you can download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS device to keep track of our broadcast. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. Good evening.